What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream from the Scalar Learning channel. And today we are beginning a big countdown, a big push for the upcoming August SAT. Now, I know things are a bit precarious in the world. We still don't know 100% which test centers are going to be holding the SAT and which won't, which will be canceled, right? So we're just sort of going with the flow and keeping positive. I know that some students are mentioning now, even in this chat, that their SATs unfortunately have been canceled, and I know that's really disappointing. I have a few students that are just ready to crush that and knock it out of the park, so we'll see what happens. Hey, what's up, Dina? And so anyways, it is what it is. Now, look, I don't know what's going to happen for each individual test center, but I know that what I always try and do in my life is control what I can control and prepare the best I can, and then it's out of our hands. Hey, what's up, Eptine? And so anyways, that's what gave me the idea to do this. Now, look, these are all videos that I've created before. In terms of, I've already covered these practice tests. These are the College Board tests, but I thought it would be a great idea to go through them one more time from start to finish in the next 20 days consecutively. So one day, no calculator, next day calculator, for a couple of reasons. Number one, my ability to, I think, make these videos and the way that I present them now, they're clearer and they look better than they did before when I first shot them. Number two, I think that these are the most commonly taken practice tests out of any practice tests out there. So I think it'll be helpful for a lot of students who have gone through these and likely have taken these to watch me do them as well. Now, if you want to kind of use this as a really hardcore 20-day study program, what I recommend is every day before I do the test, you do it yourself. So for example, today you would have knocked out the no calculator section first. If you didn't, it's all good. But like tomorrow, do the calculator section of practice test 1 and then immediately follow along and watch me do it thereafter. So you can get the most out of this, and we'll have a consistent 20-day run up till when we take the test. So let's see what happens. And by the way, for California, for Los Angeles, it's not official yet for a lot of my students. So we don't know, but we're going to see. I think it's going to vary from test center to test center. All I can say is I'm just trying to think positive and hope for the best and hope that this thing finally does go down so you guys can show what you got. All right, let's get into it. So I'm excited to do this practice test because it's been a long time since I've done it. Normally, of course, I love to do them fresh for the first time. Of course, this will be in real time, but I have done this before, so it will feel still like, I think, an authentic test-taking experience because it's been so long. Without further ado, we're going to start. And by the way, if you are new to these streams, I'm going to be in the zone just trying to knock it out, but feel free to put your questions in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them once I've concluded. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1, let's do it. All right, we're solving for x, plug in 3 for k, plug in chug, right? X minus 1 over 3 equals 3, multiply both sides by 3. X minus 1 equals 9, add 1 to both sides, x equals 10. Boom, done. Now I'm going to double check. If I plug in 10, that's 9. 9 divided by 3 is 3, and there we go. Verified. Excelentes. Numero 2. For I equals that, sum of this. Now notice there's no subtraction here. These parentheses are not doing anything, so I'm literally just going to add those and add those. Add like terms. 7 plus negative 8 is negative 1. 3i plus 9i is 12i. So I treat those like they're like variables. You know, I is like an x, just like terms, and we're good to go. Make sure that's right. Make mistakes. Numero tres. On Saturday afternoon, Armand sent M text messages each hour for 5 hours. So he sent a total of 5 M text messages, right? Because if he sent, let's say that was 10 for 5 hours, and then 10 every hour, that'd be 50. 5 times 10. So it makes sense. And Tyrone sent P text messages each hour for every 4 hours. So he sent 4P, which finally represents the total, aka 5M plus 4P. Done. These guys do not combine. They are not like terms. So they stay separate, and you're good to go. Numero 4. Kathy is a repair technician for a phone company. Each week she receives a batch of phones that need repairs. The number of phones that she has left to fix at the end of each day can be estimated with this equation, where P is the number of phones left and D is the number of days she has worked that week. What is the meaning of the value of 108 in this equation? So 108 is my y-intercept, right? My slope is negative 23, which means she's probably reducing the amount of her load by 23 phones every day, right? Because that's per day. So my starting value is 108. That's what 108 means. And what is that? That means, no, it's not how long it'll take her to complete the repairs. Yes, she has 48 phones to fix each week. That's what she starts with. So that is my starting value, B, and we are done. Number 5, which the following is equivalent to the expression above. First thing I'm going to do is distribute that negative, right? So I get x squared y minus 3y squared plus 5xy squared. Those two negatives cancel out, so that's positive x squared y. That's negative. I'm going to move that to the end to match it with this. Negative 3xy squared, and then a positive 3y squared over here. You see how the negative cancels with each of these? Okay, these guys are opposites. They're going to cancel out. These guys are going to combine 2x squared y, and these combine to become 2xy squared. That's out. That's out. The only two that have 2x squared y is this one, and C is the answer, and we are done. Number 6, a pediatrician uses the model above to estimate the height of a boy in inches in terms of the boy's age, A in years between the ages of 2 and 5. Based on the model, what is the estimated increase in inches of a boy's height each year? Okay, they're just talking about the slope, and it looks like it goes up by 3 every year. That's my slope. Now, if you're not sure about that, let's test it out. If I plug in 1 for A, I get 1 times 3 is 3, plus that is 31.6. If I plug in 2, I get 6 there. 6 plus that is 34.6, and I can see every year it's going up by 3 inches, and that's it. Number 7. Okay, this is a really famous isolating quantities question. Like, you can kind of see all the answers are just, they're isolating P. And it's great because then we don't have to read all this craziness and really have to understand all the craziness that's happening in here. So how do I isolate P? Well, first, I'm going to multiply the denominator against that. So it's going to be this whole thing, M times 1 plus R over 1200. Oops. To the n power. Actually, let's put this in like a big parentheses. Minus 1. Okay, then I'm going to want to get rid of the numerator, but now the denominator is gone. It's just going to be this quantity times P. So then I'm going to divide both sides by that gigantic numerator. To the n. And that's going to be your answer right here. So let's see. This has to be on the bottom, which is only true for B. A is out. They kind of flipped it, right? It's got to be B. And the right numerator on top. The only thing they did differently was they took that M and they put it out front. Otherwise, it looks identical to our answer, and we're good to go. Number 8, if A over B equals 2, what is the value of 4B over A? So let's, we're going to cross multiply and multiply the B across and then substitute. So multiply both times B, and I get A equals 2B. So let's substitute 2B in over here for this expression. So this is 4B over 2B, which equals 2. So 4B over A is 2. Let me just think and make sure that makes sense here. A over B equals 2. Is there another way we can do this? 2B. I can also say 2B equals A. So 4B equals 2A. Yeah, and any way you slice it, we're going to get 2. So just verifying. Number 9, what is the solution to the system of equations above? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my favorite method, which is elimination. Especially in this setup, it's great. I'm going to flip these around so that I see the X's and the Y's are lined up. Now I want to knock out one of them. I think it's going to be easiest to knock out the 3 because this X is already negative. I can just multiply this bottom equation by 3. I get negative 3X plus 6Y equals negative 57. 3 times 19. My mental math being a little bit stronger, on the stronger side, definitely is a help on this section. Now we add everything. Those cancel out. That becomes 10Y equals, wait a minute. Oh, I forgot to, that's a negative 23. I was like, wait a minute. This is, because I was going to get a decimal, and I'm like, it doesn't feel right. So that's a good way to catch a mistake there. So that's 70, 80, negative 80. Divide both sides by 10. Y equals negative 8, which means it's got to be this. Now, I'm still going to check. I'm still going to make sure. So Y equals negative 8. They're saying that X equals 3. Let's see. If plug in negative 8 here, that's negative 16. Minus 3, that is negative 19. Plug it in here. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times negative 8 is negative 32. Negative 32 plus 9 is indeed negative 23. Boom, done. Number 10, g of x equals this. For the function g, defined above, a is a constant, and g of 4 is 8. Immediately, I'm going to plug in 4. The function value is 8 when x equals 4. So I'm going to plug that in and solve for a. Subtract 24 from both sides, negative 16 equals, and then that's 16a. Oh, check it out. A equals -1. Boom. Now my equation is -1 or negative x squared plus 24. Now I'm going to plug in -4 and see what I get. So -4, first I square that. It ends up being just like 4, actually. It just becomes 16, but I still have that negative out there. They don't cancel out, right? Because we square it first, then we add on that negative, and then -16 plus 24 is 8. It's actually the same value as 4, which makes sense because we're squaring it. So you square it, shouldn't change. Now, look, you could have probably solved it that way logically and not solve for A, but I like to have certain steps and protocols in place. Like if I see something like that where I can plug in, I'm immediately going to do it, even if it's a little longer, because the fact that I don't have to think about a strategy will be a time saver. A line in an XY plane passes through the origin and has a slope of 1/7. Pass through the origin, meaning a y-intercept of 0. And there is my equation of the line. Which of the following points lie on the line? Okay, well, now I got my equation. Let's plug it in. If I plug in 0, do I get 7? No, I would get 0. If I plug in 1, do I get 7? No, I would get 1/7. If I plug in 7, do I get 7? No, I plug in 7, I'd get 1. If I plug in 14, do I get 2? Yes, because 1/7 times 14 is 2. Boom, done. Numero 30. Oh, I skipped one. 11. Whoops. All right. Got to be careful about that. In the equations above, B and C represent the price per pound in dollars of beef and chicken, respectively, X weeks after July 1st during the last summer. What was the price per pound of beef when it was equal to the price per pound of chicken? AKA, set these equal to each other when these are equal. 0.75 plus 0.4x. I don't like the decimal, so I'm going to multiply everything by 100, and I get 235 plus 25x equals 175 plus 40x, sorry. And then subtract 25x from both sides, I get 15x over here. Subtract 175 from 235, and I get 60. Divide both sides by 15. X equals 4. So 4 is the value of X. The price per pound, what was the price per pound of beef when they're equal? Now I need to get the price per pound of beef, so I plug 4 in for that, and I get 2.35 plus 0.25 times 4. That's $1 plus 235, and I get 335. Now I can check the second equation because the two prices were supposed to be the same, so that can be a validating thing if I can verify and say, oh, I also get 335 here. So plug 4 in. That's 1.75 plus 4 times that is 1.60. Oops, 1.60. That's 335, and we're done. Numero 13. If x is greater than 3, which of the following is equivalent to this guy? Okay. The deal here is, look what they've done. They basically combined this into rationals with either a single denominator or no denominator or whatever. Really, these do have denominators. They're over 1. But they've just consolidated everything. So this isn't like you have to go through and figure out, how can I get this to that? Or you don't even think about that. Don't even think about the problem in that complex of a way. Instead, how do I consolidate the denominator and then simplify that way? And you'll get to the right answer. So these need to, you can't just flip this. I know you might want to be, your first instinct is that it's 2x plus 5 because this just becomes x plus 2 plus x plus 3. No, can't do that. First must consolidate, then you can do that flip. So the common denominators would be, I'm going to multiply this by that denominator. So this becomes x plus 3 on top, right? Multiply top and bottom by x plus 3. And this one, multiply top and bottom by x plus 2. So we get x plus 3 times x plus 2. Now they have the same denominator. Now we can combine. So now I get 1 over, that's x plus x is 2x, 3 plus 2 is 5, over, and I'm going to FOIL this because I see in this answer it's FOILed. So I'm leaning to, I feel like it's going to be this one or this one. So let's FOIL. It becomes x squared, 3x, 2x, 5x, and then plus 6. Last but not least, when it's 1 over this, now we have a nice uniform denominator, a single denominator. Now the final answer is just this flipped. So it becomes x squared plus 5x plus 6 on top over 2x plus 5, and we're good to go. 14, if 3x minus y equals 12, what is the value of 8x over 8 to the x over 2y? Let's do a little substitution. And I'm going to isolate y here. So I'm going to say negative y equals 12 minus 3x. y equals 3x minus 12, right? Divide both by -1, just move them around. Now I got this value for y. Okay, at least now this will make a little bit more sense once I can plug that in for y there. So now I have 8 to the x over 2 to the 3x minus 12, which is looking good. But now, to simplify further, I need to get these guys to have the same base. That's a common thing that we have to do with these exponent problems. And I can quickly recognize that 8 is just 2 to the third. So watch what I'm going to do. Look at that. Now we've got 2's on the top and bottom. Simply distribute here, and I've got 2 to the 3x over 2 to the 3x minus 12. Then I subtract the exponents, top minus the bottom, so it's 2 to the 3x minus, don't forget the parentheses. Distribute, distribute. That becomes 2 to the 3x minus 3x plus 12. These guys cancel, and my final answer is 2 to the 12th. Neck is a little sore. Number 15. If A, let me just see how this is doing. All right, stream health looks all right. If ax plus 2 times bx plus 7 equals that, and then a plus b equals 8, what are two possible values for c? In these, I'm always going to do one thing. I'm going to FOIL and get them looking similar. So first I have abx squared plus 7ax plus 2bx plus 14 equals this whole side. All right. Why is this important? Because first of all, the x squareds are going to match up, which means that a times b has to equal 15. Now I got a system of equations because I know two things. I know that a times b equals 15, and I also know that a plus b equals 8 because that's what they gave me that. I can also make a, oh no, that would be, I need to get values for c, right? I also know that this matches up with the c term. Okay, so watch this. So 7a plus 2b, I'm going to factor the x out of these guys, equals cx, which means c equals 7a plus 2b. All right. Now, based on this system, I don't even have to do anything. I can tell that a and b are 3 and 5 or 5 and 3. That's the two values that are going to work, right? Because they add to 8, multiply to 15. Now just plug and chug, right? So when they're 3 and 5, 7 times 3 is 21. 2 times 5 is 10. So it can be 31. Or 7 times 5 is 35, right? Plug that in. 2 times 3 is 6. And that's 41. So it can be 31 and 41. Okay, multiple choice is done. 10 minutes left for the free response. Pretty good shape time-wise. Now we're going to blaze through these. We'll notice a drop in difficulty, which is always nice. So that's why I'm looking forward to this, to ending the multiple choice. So we got t is greater than 0. T squared minus 4 equals 0. What is the value of t? 2. Done. Why? Because 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. It could also be negative 2, but they say, hey, it's got to be greater than 0. And by the way, free response can never be negative. Remember that. The College Board has made that a specific rule. 17. A summer camp counselor wants to find the length of x and feet across a lake as represented. The lengths represented by AB, EB, and BD, and CD were determined to be 1,800. So AB is 1,800. 1,400 is EB. BD is 700. And CD is 800. All right, segments AC and intersect, whatever. Okay, and they said AEB, and but that's marked. They have the same measure. All right, what can we tell about these two triangles? Hopefully you'll realize that these are vertical angles, and vertical angles are equal, which means that these two triangles are similar. Now, if you didn't remember that angle-angle similarity theorem, there's no other way to solve this. So you can, if you're stuck, make the assumption and say, well, they probably are similar, because otherwise my back's against the wall. And now we can set up a proportion, okay? So, and by the way, these remaining sides by the no choice, or angles, sorry, by the no choice theorem have to be congruent. So how do we set up a nice proportion? Well, I see that 700 is opposite to 3, so is the 1,400. So 700 is equivalent to 1,400, and stack those on top. Just like, and we want to get x, what's equivalent to x? Opposite the double. 800 of the little triangle to the x, and now we've got a proportion that we can solve. Cross off those zeros. 7 over 14 is 1/2. Cross multiply. 800 times 2 is 1600 equals x. Therefore, the value is 1600. All right, next, number 18, 8 minutes to go. According to system equations above, what's the value of x? I'm going to negate the top one. Negative x minus y equals positive 9. Keep the bottom one the same. Why? Because I am using elimination. Now, these cancel out. You might say we should have canceled the y's. Save a step, whatever. I guess I could have done that, but it's okay. Negative y plus 2y is y. 9 plus negative 25 is negative 16, right? Negative 16... yeah, right? And then so if y equals negative 16, now we plug it into the top one, x plus negative 16 equals negative 9. Add 16 to both sides, x equals 7. Let's double check. 7 and negative 16, yes, that works. 7, 2 times negative 16 is negative 32. 7 plus negative 32 is indeed negative 25. We're good to go. Number 9, in a right triangle, immediately draw a right triangle. Again, these are the rules. These are the protocols that I follow. I see a geometric shape being described that's not drawn. I'm going to draw it. One angle measures x. Let's make this one x, where sine of x opposite over hypotenuse is 4/5. What is cosine of 90 minus x? Okay. Didn't actually have to draw it, but that's okay. The theorem that you should know that is tested repeatedly on this test is sine of x is always equal to cosine of the complement, meaning cosine of 90 minus x. So it's just, again, going to be 4/5. But how do I verify that in this triangle? Well, isn't this 90 minus x? That's 90. That's x. This has to be 90 minus x. What's cosine? Adjacent over hypotenuse. Boom, done. This side does happen to be 3, but we don't. Doesn't matter. 4/5, and we're good to go. 6 minutes for this final problem. A equals 5 radical 2. 2a equals that. What is the value of x? All right. All we're going to do is plug in, hold on. Okay, so 2a equals radical 2x, divide by 2, divide by 2. Now we can substitute this into this. So then I have radical 2x over 2 equals 5 radical 2, multiply both sides by 2. Square root of 2x equals 10 radical 2. Square both sides. So we're solving for x. That becomes 2. Because if I square that, the radical goes away. Square the other side. The 10 squared becomes 100. Rad 2 becomes 2. Multiply that. 2x equals 200. Divide by 2. X equals 100. Oops. Wait. Yeah. Is x equal 100? Hold on. I think that's right. X equals 100. Let me double check. So if x is 100, that is 100. So then it would say 2a equals radical of 200, which means 2a equals 10 rad 2, right? Square. It's like 100 times 2. Square root of 100 is 10. Leave the 2 inside. So a equals, divide by 2, 5 rad 2. And that's what it said there. Okay, boom. So we did it. All right, that's it. We have gone through the no calculator section. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any problems, and then we'll stop the clock and review the answers. Answered. D. Crap. Yep. Yeppers. All right, let's do it. Now, normally, if I had time on the real thing, I say this every time, but you would want to use that extra time to go through every single answer, right? Not just say, I'm done now, I'm going to call it in. You'd actually go through all of those. Okay, hold on one second. Where are my SAT tests? Here we go. Oops. All right. Uh-oh. Here we go. All right. Number 1. So we got DACB, DACB. Number 5, we got CABC, CAB. C. Number 9, we've got BADD, B, A, D, D. 13. We've got, oh, sorry, B, A, D. B, A, D. Multiple choice is good to go. Now let's check the free response. We've got 2, 1600, 7, 4/5, and for the win, 100. All right, got them all. Let's see what we got on the question side. Hey, what's up, guys? Okay, 13. Why is 13 flipped? Let's see here. Oh, because it was 1 over 2x plus 5, x squared plus 5x plus 6, and then when you do 1 over anything, it's the reciprocal. You got to flip it to simplify. I don't like subtracting everything tech time. I don't like subtracting for elimination. You can do that. Instead, I like having them be opposites and add because I feel like there's less room for error, but you can do it however you want. I'm going to do all 10 practice tests, by the way, until the August SAT. Every day, 1 section. And there are tests 2 and 4 that have been removed. I still think they're good practice tests from what I've seen in terms of the real test thereafter. So I think it's just extra practice and still good stuff to review, so I'm going to keep those in the mix. All right, my stream has gone down. I hope it's not too crazy right now, and I hope the health of the stream is still reasonable. By the way, I wanted to tell you guys that the streams, I know they got a little glitchy. Oh, you can get them on the College Board or on Khan Academy. You can get them for free, both of those. You can't. So even now, right? It says my stream health is low. I don't know why. I want to tell you guys I did something because I care so deeply about my YouTube channel and trying to help everybody prepare. And I mean, like, I love YouTube and I love creating content that's reliable and good. I bought a new computer today, so I'm very excited. So whatever random glitches have been occurring, I hope they will no longer occur. Once it's the iMac. It's like a iMac Pro. It's supposed to be great for video editing and everything related to video production. So I'm very excited to get it set up. And hopefully tomorrow I'll be up and running with that new computer and we'll have no glitches thereafter. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click that like button. And if you want to see more from the Scalar Learning channel, make sure to click subscribe. By the way, I did post a link earlier up in the chat to go to my math puzzles channel. If you are looking for a fun way to stimulate your mind on a regular basis, I release math puzzles every week, sometimes more, and they're just fun. Something fun to do, maybe to warm up or whatnot, do with family or friends. So you can go on my main channel and find that, or click that link, look for math puzzles, and I'm very excited about that channel. I think it's going to be sweet as it grows and the database of puzzles gets bigger and bigger. Anyways, I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to figure out what time the stream is. I'm going to post it as early as possible, and that's it. We are on our way to the mission, to the final date for this August SAT. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I will see you in the next video. Take it easy.